ACC Media Days this week, kickoff down in wherever they have it, somewhere in the Triangle, and lots of news coming out talking about the ACC Digital Network, talking about this, talking about that. And one thing that will definitely come out at some point here will be the preseason pick by the media of who's going to finish where in the conference. And odds are, I think it's probably a safe bet that North Carolina is going to be picked to win the Coastal Division. Pitt will probably be picked second. I think when you look around at the Vegas lines, that's been the general consensus, and I think the media tends to agree with Vegas unless they're personally involved. Then the media tends to get angry at Vegas, but that's another story. And I can kind of understand it. I mean, the North Carolina ran through the conference last year. They went undefeated in ACC play. They won the Coastal Division. They ended up going to the championship game. They're 8-0 in regular season ACC games. They beat Pitt last year. They beat Miami last year. The other teams that are kind of close there, they beat everybody last year. But they also lost a really big piece of the puzzle in Marquise Williams. And I know they returned some skilled players. Elijah Hood is probably the best running back in the conference, all due respect to the 17 guys on Pitt's roster. And they've got, they have talent coming back on defense. They have some pretty good wide receivers. They have good players, good offensive linemen on that North Carolina team. But they lost a big piece in the quarterback. And Pitt lost a big piece with Tyler Boyd, there's no question. But I think if I'm a coach, I'd probably rather be replacing a wide receiver than a quarterback. And North Carolina's got a good quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. I mean, he looks like he's going to be very good. Limited playing time thus far, but good pedigree. And a guy that you expect or is expected to be pretty good. Meanwhile, Pitt returns its quarterback, returns a really good offensive line, all ACC players at defensive end and safety, all ACC honorable mention at cornerback. That I mentioned the offensive line, and also a pretty good stable of running backs, which just happened to include last year's ACC Offensive Rookie of the Year and the previous year's ACC Player of the Year, who you might have heard of, James Conner. So while, yes, North Carolina is probably the favorite and probably should be, I wouldn't rule out Pitt, and I also wouldn't rule out seeing the Panthers pull a few first-place votes in the ACC preseason media poll.